Hey, what's going on, guys? This is HDX here, and now it's time for another pro wrestling review. Yes, this weekend is full of awesome wrestling action. From Friday to Sunday, we have four awesome packed events. Last video I already talked about ROH's Death Before Dishonor pay-per-view, and now I want to talk about this year's Super J Cup. Yes, for the first time in 7 years, the Super J Cup tournament took place this year. Super J Cup 2016, as you can see here, and as you can see from all the promotions, from New Japan to CMLL, Ring of Honor, Pro Wrestling Noah, All Japan, Dragon Gate, the Kentai Dojo, the Ryukyu Dragon, and we also have from the factions, from the Samurai Gun, Chaos, and Los Ingobernales de Japón. I always love saying that. Oh, I almost forgot it was Suzuki Gun, not Samurai Gun. I apologize for that mix-up. Anyway, I wanted to talk about this year's Super J Cup, specifically the Final Four. The semifinals of this year's Super J Cup tournament that took place in the Sumo Hall in Japan. And let me tell you, it is one heck of a tournament, an amazing tournament. Like the best of the Super Juniors, it was an amazing tournament, especially one of my favorite matches. I know it may sound a little cliche. Ricochet and Will Ospreay, that was one hell of a match. It was so controversial. Look, before I go any further, I just want to say, there's so many varieties, so many styles of wrestling. We can't just stick into one old school type of wrestling. We gotta like so many variety of wrestling styles. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say about that, but I digress. Now let's continue with the tournament, specifically the SJ Cup Finals. Alright, the first match in the quarterfinal round, Tati from the Suzuki Gun faction beats Jushin Thunder Liger, the 1995 Super J Cup winner, via a countout within 3 minutes. It was some good. There were some good moves. There were some good spots here, and the way that it ended in a countout, I gotta be honest. It was a little bit okay at best. But I gotta be honest. I'm only gonna give this like a 2 out of 5 on that match. In the next quarterfinal match, we got New Japan Pro Wrestling's IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion Kushida going against Pro Wrestling Noah's Kenoh, and Kushida beat Kenoh via pinfall. It was a decent match, I gotta say. Especially with Kushida and Kenoh. Two from different promotions. I gotta say, it's one good match. I gotta say, like a 3 out of 5. In the next quarterfinal match, Suzuki Gun's Kanemaru defeats New Japan's Taguchi via pinfall, and the match lasted 9 minutes and 27 seconds. And I gotta say, this is an odd booking choice. Taguchi is a goofball, although solid when he takes matches seriously. Kanemaru is a reliable heel who grinds through matches. I'm not sure what the end game is, but I think it's got to be a decent move, but still it's just not up to par. But nevertheless, it's still a good match. I say 2.9 to 3 stars. I'm going to be generous about it, like 3.5 out of 5. In the next Super J Cup quarterfinal match, Will Ospreay representing Chaos versus Ring of Honor's Matt Sydal. And look, I gotta be real, this has a genuine shot. A genuine shot at stealing the show due to the chemistry and the past matches that we've seen throughout the past few months. The matches in Rev Pro are astonishing work, and Ospreay has gotten a lot better since then. It was working Sydal that got him pushed up the card, because he delivered there and moved up. Their chemistry is there for all to see. The opening counter sequence, and I gotta tell you, from backflips to somersaults, so many good spots left and right. It was so cool about it. Let's be real. Let's go back to the best of the Super Juniors. Will Ospreay versus Ricochet. Look, I gotta be honest. In my opinion, it was one hell of a match. It was like lightning in a freaking bottle. And yet people are still yapping, oh, that's just not wrestling. It's just choreographed acrobatic skills with monkey shit right there. I mean, there was a lot of wrestling in there. I mean, from in and out of the ring. I mean, fans were emotionally invested in it. I mean, but I digress. Ospreay versus Seidel, I'll give it a 3.9 out of 5. I mean, it's one heck of a match that would stand out. Okay, look, I gotta be totally honest. I mean, the overall booking of this tournament right here, I mean, it's kind of bit of a disappointment in my book. I'm gonna get to that, and when I get to that, now, I mean, Seidel beats Kanemaru, and he moves on to the finals. I gotta give that a 3 out of 5. And before we get to the finals, I want to talk about like one match in particular that there was some that I find it very interesting, and like I find it kind of cool for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Title match between the Motor City Machine Guns and the champs, the Young Bucks. I remember Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley when they were in TNA back in 2006, and then a year later they formed the tag team, the Motor City Machine Guns, thanks to Kevin Nash. And they kind of split up after a while both of them left TNA. I remember when Alex Shelley used to team up with Kushida as the Time Splitters, and they did a good job, and they did a good job out there. And then Alex Shelley went to Ring of Honor, and then Chris Sabin went to Ring of Honor, and they finally reunited as the Motor City Machine Guns. I mean, which is so freaking cool. And the Young Bucks, as a Bullet Club fan, I freaking love the Young Bucks as a junior heavyweight tag team. I just love that. I mean, they're like the freaking Hardys on crack. I mean, they just go, I mean, quick spots, quick moves, and I just love it when Steve Corino just saying, "Stop a kick! Stop a kick! Stop a kick!" Every time when they pull out the super kick, I mean, it's just so freaking awesome. Right, this is what I wanted to talk about, the post-match promo. The Bucks laid down a challenge for the IWGP World Tag Team straps, the main heavyweight tag team belts to be specific. Suitably hyped to see what they can do in that situation, having worked in every conceivable angle over the last 2 years. Like Kenny Omega, they've trolled the internet. I mean, they've trolled the internet into thinking that they were WWE bound, but they're not. I mean, they love New Japan, they love Ring of Honor, and and I'm happy for them. And I'm happy for Kenny Omega winning the G1 Climax. I mean, like I said in my last review, but I'm gonna get to that when I get to that. I'll save that for a different video. All right, then let's continue. And then the moment of truth has finally arrived, aka the Super J Cup final between New Japan Pro Wrestling's IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion Kushida against one of the members of the Suzuki Gun faction, Yoshinobu Kanemaru. I apologize if I butchered it. I mean, like Yoshinobu Kanemaru, or as in the Japanese say, Kanemaru Yoshinobu. I love doing that too. And look, man, I gotta be really honest. I mean, this is not the match that I was expecting for a Super J Cup final. I was expecting a Will Ospreay versus Kushida. I mean, that would be like an awesome match. I mean, that would be one heck of a match that would be fitting for a Super J Cup final. And then I would see a real good rival between Ospreay and Kushida. I mean, I would love that. I mean, I would just love that. Overall, I mean, at the end of the match, I mean, we see some good moves, we see some good spots, I mean, we see some high flying moves, I mean, like how Super Junior Heavyweights does, and at the end, Kushida wins the Super J Cup. I mean, he deserves to win that, and rightfully so. I mean, he's one hell of a junior heavyweight. I mean, last year, he won the best of the Super Juniors tournament, and now he has won the Super J Cup. I mean, he's one of the best junior heavyweights in the professional wrestling world today, so good on him, he deserves it. So, I'm going to give my overall review on the Super J Cup tournament. I mean, was it a good tournament? I mean, it was a decent tournament. I mean, not as epic as it was, I mean, back in 1994 and 1995 and some of the other past tournaments over a while, but it's still a decent tournament. I wish that they could do it, like, much better. I mean, like, probably next year, as soon as they'll get, like, the best junior heavyweights throughout the entire world, and they can do a really good job. So, overall, it's a decent tournament. Alright, I'm going to give this, for this review, I'm going to give this like a 3.9 out of 5. Yes, I give this a 3.9 out of 5. It's a decent tournament, but it still needs a lot of work on that. Alright, so anyway, that's my review on the Super J Cup. I'm going to be working on the SummerSlam review after I finish the NXT TakeOver review, but for now, I got to get ready to celebrate my little sister's birthday. Alright, so I'll be back to you. So this is HDX signing out. Have a good one.